What is up, my MMA true believers? I am Jason Burgos, and for this edition of Back Talk, I am joined by the former queen of the LFA strawweight division, who begins her journey back to the throne when she returns to action in the co-main event of LFA 103, where she will face off with Cynthia Arceo, and that woman I speak of is the Lil Monster of Greek gods. The one and only Vanessa Demopoulos, Madam Monster. Thanks so much for the time during fight week. It's fight week. This is a busy time.
This is fight week. Thank you so much. What a cool introduction. Yes. Man, I'm so excited. I'm really looking forward to Friday, man. This is a really cool time for me.
All the success you've had, you're still so early in your career and stuff like that. So, losing 3 in a row, hypothetical, we're going to assume that's not going to happen, but if that happens, it'll put you in a tough spot. It'll put you in 5-4 record, likely out of title contention. LFA pushes you further away from the UFC goal, which we talked about last time. You want sooner than later. Not long ago, you were 5-2, LFA champ, UFC opportunity in front of you. Is there like an added urgency in this camp that, you put so much work into the position you were in, and if you lose, you kind of fall back and put yourself in a tough spot? Like, you have to nip this in the bud real quick, ASAP, because even though you look 25, you're 33. You're going to be 33 in September. The prime window doesn't stay open forever. Like, you can't let this go any further than it has.
Sure, yeah, that's a whole lot of negativity that you just threw my way. But
sorry. I'm just trying to get deep into your being.
Oh my God. Honestly, like, fuck yeah, everything that you said, true. That's very true. But also, look at the defeats that I did have. In the Contender Series. What a fucking fight. I went to that fight. I literally got the call the night of the championship. It was 3 weeks later. Yeah. I'm walking into the UFC platform, and, let's be honest, I did come out of a 4-round war. Yeah. It's not like the whole thing was like a simple grapple exchange. Like, all that fight was on the feet. Like, I had a few injuries that I was nursing that I probably should have taken care of a little bit better. And you walking into a contender fight, but you know what? I don't make excuses, and I don't back down from shit. So, and then it was like, as soon as I get out of that, I had the opportunity to walk in there. And honestly, when the hype train's high, a lot of people are calling you out. And congratulations to Loopy for really making that happen, making that fight happen and pushing me into that. And, fight of the year. What the heck? I had 2 wars that I'm super proud of. Like, and no point was I super dominated and out of any of those fights.
You there?
1 second. Yeah, someone called me. I had to reject it.
Oh, sorry for them.
All right. Rejected. Denied. At no point during the contender fight was I like, oh my God, she's in trouble. If anything, I had her in trouble several times. I almost pulled off an armbar in the 3rd round. I was beating her on the feet. She played a smart game. Corey McKenna was a very smart fighter. Yeah. And then look at the Lupita Godinez fight. Lupi, she was creaming me the first round and a half. And then it's like I start coming back and really getting my bearings. And, shit. I mean, I took down someone who literally grew up in wrestling. Like, I had a lot of accomplishments. I had a lot of shining moments in both of those fights. Like, run them back. Like, it is what it is. Like, a loss is a loss, but it was nothing for me to hang my head over,
And I'm glad you bring up, because that was a question I was going to ask, bringing up that there's war, because educate me here. Maybe I'm seeing it in a different way when I come with this question in terms of the Sam Hughes fight was a very competitive fight, a real battle. You mentioned McKenna, a tough fight. Lupita, it would seem on the surface like having these war-type fights is not sustainable for a long-term career, because you want to have as much tread on the tire to do as much as you can. But how do you see it? Do you see it like, oh, you know what, I can't be getting these wars. I'm as talented as anybody out here. I need to have some of these easier wins to extend my career. I'm talented enough to do that. And is it just a competition and you can't avoid the competition? Is part of you feel like, you know what, I want to be a fan-friendly fighter that adds value to me in another way? Educate me. What's your opinion on this? Do you like having these wars, or do you even feel like, you know what, I can't always be having wars. It's going to hurt me?
Yeah, I mean, that's fucking cute that all these other girls that have walked into the UFC have gotten all these easy gimme fights. I've literally never had one of those coming up, since I was in the LFA for my second fight. And it was like, like every single fight has been like someone who is of caliber, like they're a world champion in this, like they've been training their whole entire life, da 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 da. And whatever. You know what? This is who I am. This is the situation that I'm in. And let me fucking tell you something, because by the time we get to the UFC, there is not going to be any competition that's on that roster that I will not be able to handle. I mean, let's be honest. I have not been dealt easy cards, and I'm okay with that. I accept that. You know why? Because I'm a gamer. I'm a monster. I'm a warrior. So, and I think that, you hit hard about, having tread on the tires and all of that. Like, to be honest, I really, really take care of myself. I really take care of myself. I'm really big on nutrition. I'm really big on vitamins. I'm really big on a lot of things that I think a lot of other athletes start to slack on. Conor McGregor even talked about it. He's like, dude, I only took care of myself when I was in camp. I literally take care of myself all of the time.
Yeah, and that matters. That matters.
It makes a huge difference in my ability to be able to fight and look like I'm 25 at 32, Take that one from you right there.
There you go. Now, considering that you are the former champion, were you a little surprised that, we talked about it, Fight of the Year candidate with Lupito, that you didn't get the automatic rematch? Or was that the plan? Booking can be very difficult at every level, even at the UFC level. The fight just couldn't happen at this particular time. Maybe Lupi wasn't ready, injury, whatever, and then you just didn't want to wait? Or did you get this fight and you're like, what the hell's going on? I just was champion, had a Fight of the Year. Why am I not getting a rematch for the title?
Oh, that's okay. Lupi's extremely talented. She's a great fighter. And, I'm also talented. We're both talented enough to be into the UFC. So once we get there, if that's something that the UFC wants, then, that's like a big thing. But I've never been an athlete like, oh, run it back. Like, that's, that ain't my style, man. So, but if the fight makes sense later on down the road when we're both getting paid some really fucking big bucks to beat the shit out of each other like that, then let's go.
Would you say then that you've reached the goal of having LFA gold and stuff like that? Now that you've lost it, unfortunately, is it not as much of a thing you need, a milestone now? You've already reached it. Now the milestone is just W's, and get to the UFC?
Yeah, get me to the UFC, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now talk to me about Cynthia Arceo. She started her pro career same year as you, similar kind of record, experience level, stuff like that. Does she bring something in this fight like you haven't seen yet, or maybe offers a style set that will allow you to maybe showcase some specific additions or things you've been working on, and to further your development? Because like I mentioned before, for all the success, LFA champion, fantastic fights, you're still young in the game. You still have a lot of room for improvement. What does she offer that may be something to push you forward as a professional fighter?
Yeah, I've fought, the super decorated strikers, the super decorated boxers. I've fought girls that were already like 2 feet taller than me, and I'm sitting there at weigh-ins looking at them like, oh my gosh, this is a crazy one. But every single person has their own fire, and I'm looking forward to seeing what that is in the cage.
I need a bold proclamation. When the referee is standing in the middle of the cage, holding you and Cynthia's wrists, what is the ring announcer going to tell the world about this fight's results? What are they saying?
I don't think I've ever had a fight that wasn't so wildly exciting that people couldn't take their eyes off of it. And this fight is not going to be any different than that.
So no, I'm going to knock her out first round. I'm going to submit her. We're not going to go that way. We're just going to be like...
No. Yeah, because sorry, I'm not going to give you a bold ass proclamation, because every single fight that I've ever had was probably one of the fights that you definitely didn't want to miss. Yeah. I don't think I've had a fight that wasn't that way. So let's go. And
I agree with you 1,000%. And we talked about this last time, and that it's really UFC or bust. You really have no other interest, but you have a value, talented fighter, a fighter that will go in there and war, put on a show. If somebody like Bellator or one come a calling with a fat contract, some fat money, are you still going to turn it down?
My big thing in life is to be able to reach millions of people and help to share the story of overcoming and becoming and all of the things that are the reasons why I can be here today having this conversation with you, walking back into the cage after a crazy year that I've had. And I think that UFC has the biggest influence and the biggest reach, and if I really want those super fatty paychecks, isn't it smarter for me to be able to reach those millions of people first, and then they're still going to be knocking. They're just going to be knocking differently. I've actually turned down WWE contracts and opportunities before. Yes.
When was this? A long time ago or recently?
No, yeah, I mean, as recent as we're talking October. They want me to come out and do tryouts and everything. Yes, they
came to you.
My name. They call my name.
Really?
And I'm very focused on fighting MMA and continuing on the path that I started. And I'm very, I'm very niche focused. That's who I am, and I know what's important to me. So I'm not really, I'm not easily convinced by other distractions in my life. And I do a lot of things. But everything that I do is from the heart, and it's from passion and it's from purpose. You can't really buy me with a bag of gold.
I mean, but that has to feel good,
unless,
huh? That has to feel good, though, because, like you even said, the UFC has, the biggest microphone. That's the one, especially casual fans, people outside the industry know of and recognize those fighters. And not being in the UFC, somehow the WWE still knew about you, knew not only you have, because they can get athletes, but they want athletes that have charisma. So to know the personality, that has to feel pretty good. WWE is like UFC of professional wrestling. They on Channel 5, Fox 5.
Light flags.
So I mean, is that at least something, what did they say made them interested in you also, but obviously you got the MMA career, but at least does it now make you think in a certain way, when I'm done with MMA, maybe that is a new revenue source career for me, 6-7 years down the line?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna see where this world takes me. But one thing, the future doesn't matter to me right now. What matters to me is this fight, because this fight is what matters. This fight is what's in front of me. And I think that that's one of my strengths, is being able to focus on exactly the task at hand. Yeah. So right now the task at hand is walking into the LFA on Friday and, making history happen for myself to be able to move forward.
Fair enough.
Every moment for me is a new moment that I can make in history.
No, that's a great way to look at it. Now, last question, especially since we mentioned reaching fans, stuff like that. I was watching your interview with Cage Side Press and discovered a term I had never heard before: influencer mansion. Now, Madam Monster, explain for me and us other old folks who don't know this term, what is an influencer mansion and what is it like staying in one during your visits in Vegas?
Yes, so I live at the Manboy Mafia Influencer Mansion, and that is in Las Vegas. And an influencer mansion is probably something that, has popped up since social media has come about. Mm-hmm. So it's been you get a bunch of people who are social media savvy and just really into that whole thing, and put them all in the same room and see what craziness happens. That's how you get most of your TikToks and most of your crazy Instagrams and your YouTube, your YouTube celebrities, and and Manboy Mafia is the reason why I've connected so well with them, is because they're really huge on helping people and suicide awareness and mental health awareness. And that's something that I'm really passionate about too. I think a lot of people struggle with it very quietly. And MBM is somebody who, they're just crazy, man. Everyone there's got rainbow hair and just really cool. There's graffiti all over the place, and they have dope parties. And it was a really fun time being able to stay there. And I love those guys so much. And yeah, anytime I'm in Vegas, I have a home.
So is it almost people go, they have these networking meetings or parties? So is it almost like a live-in networking party that the world can then see, or the world doesn't see it, but it's like a networking party where you just meet other influencers and just come up with business ideas and all kinds of stuff?
Yeah, no, the world sees it, man.
All right.
Everything's on Snapchat or Instagram or, all of them. It's on all of the media sources. And it's people that come there, they have fun and, hey, Alexa, stop. Sorry. They come, they have fun, they tape it, we just do crazy stuff all the time. Yeah. But yeah, it's like everything, and it's like random people will come through, random fans will come through, and it's a great time being there. It's really good energy, amazing vibes.
I mean, it really has to be amazing being you. Lil Monster, Greek Goddess, WWE's calling, Influencer Mansion. I don't get to go to a mansion. You've gone to an Influencer Mansion. The hate is real. I'm really hating now.
Yeah, I have a pretty cool life, Yeah, it's in fact, it's almost difficult to stay very focused in fighting because, like, I live a wild and crazy lifestyle. But again, I know what's very important. And I know the reasons why I'm here in the first place. And being a fighter is that for me. And it's who I've always been in my heart. So I just get to display that when I walk into the cage.